My stomach drops the second I click the wrong folder on the shared drive. Hunting for tax PDFs. Instead, there it is. Safety plan/documentation. Like it belongs there. Ticking like a time bomb, I open the first file. A clean timeline titled Patterns of Control. Bullet points describing my late nights. Silence after fights. Weird financial intimidation. My skin tightens. This isn't just paperwork. As a case against me. Words like gaslighting keep popping up. Her favorite term lately. Escalation risk, like I am a storm waiting to happen. It's her narrative mapped out in cold. Clinical terms, and I am trapped in it. Then come screenshots of our text. Normal messages cropped just right to twist my words. I am tired. Becomes cold dismissal. Can we talk? Labeled as coercion. My face burns. It's a sick kind of nausea. An email confirmation too. A therapist session for her. Citing safety concerns. It's just sitting there like a receipt. Proof of a system being built around me. The reality feels upside down. Nearby, a shared calendar invite. Women's Circle Healing Retreat Prep. I skim the names. Then freeze. My friend S. husband. The one who's always too close to my wife. Suddenly, everything feels colder. Charged with silent danger. It's not just catching secrets. She's crafting a story that paints me the villain. Wrapped in unstoppable language. Meanwhile, behind this story, the truth is hiding. Breaking apart, she walks in cheerful. Sees my face tense in front of the laptop. Says softly I look. Activated. And shouldn't T make this unsafe? I swallow back everything and say I am packing for the trip. But inside, the trap tightens. I copy the entire folder to my own drive silently. Careful not to alert any logs. She kisses my cheek like a nurse. Whispers to avoid reactive texts while I am away. A warning I can ignore. This is bigger than us now. On the trip, I can sleep. The folder's title flashes behind my eyes. Safety plan. Documentation. Like I am not a husband, but a hazard. I sit on the bed. Sip bad water. Trying to remember normal. It feels like a distant dream I can reach. By day 2, old memories rewind with new captions. At dinner, friends light and joking. She softly says I've been scattered lately. It hits like a pillow over my face. Laughter masks the shift. Suddenly, I am the one being sized up by the room. Later, I try to add a sentence, but she cuts in, saying, let him finish, like she is helping. The room laughs, sees care, but I feel handled, managed, not insulted, not safe, just controlled, like a fragile thing everyone must watch over. Back in the hotel, I open our accounts for the first time. At first, nothing, then tiny recurring. Wellness, charges, gift cards, hotel deposits split oddly. It looks normal, but it's a map, a pattern of control disguised as routine. Next day, she asks warmer in public, texts like press releases, hand on my arm for show, but behind closed doors. Flat replies, cold eyes. If I show pain, she calls it manipulation. Suddenly, I am policing my own face like it's a weapon. My jaw locks tight. Hands shake in the bathroom mirror as I force my face neutral. Food tastes like cardboard. I chew anyway. Stay calm, stay boring. Don't give her anything to use. Fear turns into quiet exhaustion. A new kind of prison. Then, out of nowhere, a text from a friend. Is everything okay at home? My chest sinks. The story's not just in that folder anymore. It's already out. And I am the last to hear the script they rereading about me. No confrontation. Not now. Every word, every reaction becomes a screenshot. Fuel for her narrative. I play the part she wrote. Distracted. Apologetic. Foggy. I answer slow. Miss details. Safer this way. Walking on glass with careful steps. I start prepping silently. Moving everything to email. Letting calls go to voicemail. Sending flat recaps like corporate emails. I am to leave no sharp edges she can weaponize. My world shrinks to quiet safety measures and carefully constructed walls. I keep a private log. Dates, exact words, context, no feelings, no guesses, just the facts. I screenshot weekly transactions, piecing together a puzzle that keeps dissolving. The fog of control is thick, but patterns are emerging, or wellness charges appear. Hotel deposits split across days, booked under strange names. The lines blur between business and something secret, a hidden thread weaving beneath the surface. Just out of reach, I schedule a lawyer consultation under a bland calendar name. Dentist. My stomach churns clicking save. Crossing a line feels like waking up. The quiet ward is real, and I am finally asking for backup. Carefully, quietly, without alerting her. She tests me. Arguments pop up right before my meetings, like she can smell when I am vulnerable. She traps me with questions in text, designed to make me sound angry or manipulative. But I don't bite. I reply neutral. Safe, clean, unreadable. Hear her scripted words. I hear you. We can discuss with a therapist. My skin crawls using her language, but it keeps me clean. A shield against the storm she's building. Word by word. She gets bolder, leaves her phone face up on the counter like a dare. Notifications flash. She wants me to look, react, give her a reason to call me invasive. It's control playing out in the smallest moves. Constant, relentless. While I am on a video call, my phone vibrates. Her name, calm, controlled message. I am going to start documenting your outbursts again if this continues. The word, again, hits like a punch. This folder is just one layer of a bigger plan. Couples therapy reveals her skill. She shows up perfect, tearful on command. The therapist nods, and I am trapped in a script. My calm is calculation. My pause is avoidance. The therapy room feels more like a courtroom rehearsal. I try to speak carefully, like diffusing a bomb. She interrupts softly, labels me a performer. The therapist's glance says it all. I am not answering. I am presenting. Clarity hits hard. This isn't healing. It's preparation for battle, best as conversation. After therapy, she drops the act with a weird praise. You did great. Very calm. It hits wrong. Not gratitude. Conditioning. She has training behavior she wants repeated, marking me like a pattern to be enforced. My disgust stays buried. At a friend's party, she slips a tiny jab. Don T asks him. He'll just decide for us. Laughter follows. Eyebrows raise. The room files it away. Her quiet challenge is clear. Give me material. But I don't bite. I grin and hide the grinding teeth. Next day, I go deeper. Statements, account exports, company threads scrubbed clean of emotion. Every therapist receipt, calendar email saved. I think like a defense lawyer, not a husband. The fight is no longer private. It's documented war. Then I notice her women's circle posts. Photos, captions about healing and safety. Not sharing, but curating. Evidence, time-stamped, public, waiting. Battlefield has gone social and silent, wrapped in hashtags and smiles. At dinner, she casually says, I told my sister if anything happens. She gets the kids. We don't even have kids. The room tilts. Not a mistake. A threat laid bare. She watches my face, waiting to see if I'll grab the knife she has just placed on the table. A coworker pulls me aside, says HR wants a well-being check after someone reported me volatile at home. I nod. Keep calm. Inside, the puzzle clicks into place. This is bigger now. A reputation at risk, shaped by whispers and shadows I didn't see coming. A meeting invite disappears. Projects go silent. My manager tells me I am temporarily removed from a high-visibility role. To reduce load, temporarily is code for demotion dressed as care. I mask shaking hands until alone, where the silent battle rages. The enemy isn't just her. It's the system. HR templates, soft check-ins, strangers shaping my fate based on a twisted story. No proof needed, just concern enough to build a cage. brick by invisible brick. I ask her quietly if she talked about me with anyone. She smiles cold, says she shared her experience. If that hurts my image, maybe I should ask why. The words come clean and sharp, aimed right at my throat. I almost unleash all the fury inside. The facts, the defense, the truth swallowed for weeks. Thumb hovering, heart pounding, but every word risks another folder, another label. So I send a bland, save text. I am sorry you feel unsafe. I am committed to improving. When the message leaves my phone, I feel sick, but clearer. She is baiting me, not just to hurt, but to solidify her story in systems that reward concern. The trap is built not on truth, but on my angers. I think encounters, not feelings. What do I have in writing? What do they have? Who is she talking to? Who benefits if I look unstable? Every step measured as a quiet war unfolds, not just over us, but over the truth. And I see an email I shouldn't see. A draft from her, accidentally left in the shared inbox. The subject line makes my mouth dry. If he escalates, we proceed. The word, we, turns my gut to ice. This isn't just her anymore. It is a plan, coordinated and waiting. Digging deeper, I find a buried template titled, Protect Yourself from Narcissistic Partners. Checklist-style steps. Isolate. Use therapy language. Document. Seed worry at work, line by line. It matches everything I've lived through, like a script someone is reading aloud. The next shift is quieter but worse. I get an accountant, someone who doesn't probe feelings. We trace the finances, and the fog clears. The patterns cluster. Weekend, healing, events, deposits, hotel bookings linked to the retreat. There is a secret hidden in these numbers. Then one piece snaps the whole picture. A vendor invoice, spotless header, clean numbers, my wife's name, and her friend's husband, listed not as attendees, but as co-facilitators, partners in a hidden alliance I never saw coming. The earlier scenes snap into sick clarity. Her hand on my arm in public wasn't warmth. It was positioning. Her captions about boundaries were in self-expression. They were exhibits, ready to be time-stamped and shared. I stare down the truth and it burns. Then, my phone rings. It is the friend, voice trembling, not righteous, but scared. She found her own folder. She can share everything. Kids, but she needs me to know I am not crazy. The web is wider, and we both caught. She forwards me threads, partial maps, careful proof of planning. Not a confession, just enough to confirm coordination without blowing her cover. I send it to my lawyer. The endless flip of doubt and rage finally stops. My lawyer's words shift the game. If you move too early, she claim retaliation. But timed right, she can It feels like walking a razor's edge. One misstep could cost everything. But finally, there is a path forward. Then she texts, therapist wants an emergency session. Today, no excuses. Holding evidence in one hand and a tightening trap in the other. I know this is her play, but I am coming in with a different plan. Before we sit, I calmly ask for the therapist's notes and treatment plan, not as threat, but procedure. My lawyer prepared the language. Build party. Participant. I am claiming my rights quietly but firmly. Everything shifts in a subtle heartbeat. A flash crosses her face, small but real, like the whole floor shifted an inch beneath us. I add quietly, legal separation is filed, temporary financial orders in place, records preserved. I speak like weather, unstoppable, inevitable. She starts the script regardless, claiming fear of my reactions. Therapist leans in with familiar sympathy, ready to translate me again. But this time, I don't unravel. I hold tight, playing a new game on my own terms. Don't argue feelings. I reframe. Facts, documentation, timelines, hands still, voice even. I make it impossible to be framed as volatile. Control shifts. This time to me, I am no longer just a character. I am rewriting the story. Council lays out the invoice my wife and friend S husband as co-facilitators. Financial patterns match to weekends. Draft messages with "we" and if he escalates, they land silently, like clean paper, but the room's energy shifts palpably. She tries fast exit strategies. "You hacked me." This proves my point. Emergency exit rehearsed for the moment evidence lands. But I am ready. Everything is from shared accounts and saved statements. No invasion. No fantasy. Truth is my defense. Therapist asks plainly, why document outbursts before safety concerns? The question slices through the script. My wife's answer tangles. Breaks down. For once, words Don T save the performance. The frame cracks, and silence follows. The session ends with clipped next steps. A different silence settles. Not my silence. Pause where her story finds no hook. I am still here. Still quiet, but no longer speaking her language. In the hallway, she stops me, voice low, controlled fury beneath calm. You think this ends me, but I've told everyone what you are. The cold clarity lands again. This fight isn't just legal. It's the story, and she started telling it weeks ago. Legal fallout moves fast and silent. Temporary orders lock down strange spending. No more unusual withdrawals or hidden deposits. It's not drama. It's a cage showing the fog S-shape. Discovery starts. The abstract becomes urgent questions and deadlines. Work shift. 2. Now clean and contained. HR gets a letter with timelines. No attacks. Just facts showing the narrative was coordinated. Not random. The shadow lifts. Well-being check closes. People stop watching me like I am about to break. Social fallout docent T crash in like a verdict. It recedes quietly. No loud apologies. Just a drying up of support and shifting invitations. The healing circle recalibrates. People who talk boundaries get wary when records replace feelings. I move to a small place. Cheap couch. Wobbly table. Boxes unpacked slowly. Too tired to care. No posting. No rants. No exposure. Silence no longer weakness. It's choice. The story starves without my reactions. I take back control by stepping away. I face painful truths about myself. Outsourcing intimacy to stability. Thinking steady meant safe. Avoiding conflict made me vulnerable. Easy to frame and manage. The hardest betrayal was the architecture that trapped me. Not just the affair or money. She didn't betray me by accident. She engineered a world where every normal response could be labeled and archived. That was the real cruelty, not the affair or money. The silent, structural cage built to break me. One night, an old photo pops up on my phone. A drip, a smile, a version of me that didn't know to document or defend. I don't delete it. I just refuse to let it vote anymore. That man's voice is silent now in my story. She wanted me to be the monster in her story. So I stopped playing his part. Silence became my weapon. The story couldn't feed on me if I refused to act. The cage lost its power the moment I stopped reacting. Then the final email lands from the therapist. Administrative, polite, asking me to confirm where to forward records. And strangely, I feel it. System that tried to cage me has now built a paper trail it can unwind. The cage was made with words, patterns, and evidence, but now it holds a different power. The truth documented, undeniable, tracing a path out of the silence. The battle isn't over, but the story's control is no longer absolute. Power isn't just about control. It's the story told and believed. When the tale spun wrong, it can trap even those who never meant harm. But truth that's written and witnessed unlock the doors even in the darkest places. What stories shape your reality? Who decides which version becomes truth? In a world where narratives can cage us, how do we find the strength to write our own chapter? Think about that, and tell me your story below. The fallout is raw. What seemed normal was a cage. But now, with truth as my armor, I am learning to pick up pieces, not just surviving the story, but rewriting it. One fact, one line, one quiet step at a time. Strength isn't loud. It's quiet courage. choosing silence over reaction, fact over emotion, calm over chaos. It is standing in the storm, not as victim, but as an author of your own story. No matter how dark the chapters, not all battles roar. Some are silent wars waged in documents, emails, and whispers. The enemy isn't only the person, but the system that believes stories without hearing my side. It is a fight for voice, for proof, for existence. Documentation isn't just evidence. It is hope. Every saved text, every logged date is a light in the dark, a thread holding the shape of truth. It is armor not against attacks, but against erasure and silence. By owning my story in writing, I take back control. I refuse to be the villain in a tale I didn't write. My silence becomes a shield, my facts weapons in a game rigged against me. The fight is far from over, but I am ready. This story isn't just mine. It is a warning. Truth is weaponized, and narratives hide behind smiles. The real battle is for the right to be heard and believed. Hold on to your truth. It is your strongest armor. So I leave you with this. In a world full of stories, who holds the pen? How do we protect ourselves from being rewritten? And when silence saves us, what truths do we carry inside, waiting to be told? Think on that. Control looks like calm but hides chaos. The cost isn't always loud. It's a slow drowning in a story that is not yours. When your every move becomes evidence in a hidden narrative. It is a fight just to breathe free. Smiles can be masks hiding shadows. Behind public warmth, cold calculations unfold. The real war is invisible. A play of shadows behind the scenes where trust fractures and loyalty twists into suspicion. Isolation isn't always forced. Sometimes it is engineered in plain sight. Small digs, jokes disguised as teasing. Social calibration quietly pushing you out. The enemy isn't always visible, but you feel the distance wrapping around your world. The fiercest battles leave no scars, only quiet wounds. Every forced smile, every careful word, every avoided topic becomes a battlefield where silence weighs heavy, and survival means hiding hurt beneath layers of calm. Performing normal becomes exhausting, smiling while breaking inside, answering without real presence. The cost is high, losing yourself in a script written by another, your voice drowned beneath curated silence. Waking up means seeing the walls around you, the patterns disguised as normal, as seeing the cage for what it is, and finding the cracks where light can enter. The hardest step is the first one, acceptance that the story isn't yours. Silence can be strength, not absence, but power held back until the right moment. Words trap and twist. The quiet speaks louder. Choosing when to fight, when to shield, becomes the truest form of resilience. Systems meant to protect can become weapons. Stories spun in offices far away decide fates without faces or voices. The real battle isn't just personal. It is systemic, woven into forms, checklists, and quiet assumptions. Being told you're unstable when you're just scared and tired is another form of control. Gaslighting is a weapon that turns your reality upside down, making you doubt yourself while someone else writes the narrative. Labels like manipulative or coercive strip nuance away. They become blunt tools to silence and shame. Once pinned, the stories grow, repeated until the real you fades behind the accusations. Performing for friends and strangers alike is exhausting. Every joke, every gesture calibrated. The need to appear normal can feel like a trap itself, a mask sewn close to skin, impossible to remove without breaking. Living two realities, the public version and the private truth, is draining. Every minute spent managing perceptions steals energy from who you really are. It is a silent war fought with smiles on the surface and scars beneath. Reclaiming your voice in a world that edits your story, the revolution. It means speaking facts, not feelings, holding your ground when the script fights back, and forcing those who narrate to hear your version too. In a battle of words and stories, documentation becomes power. It is the difference between being forgotten and being heard. Every saved message, receipt, note is a brick in the foundation of your truth. Emotional manipulation is subtle and cruel. It twists your feelings into weapons and your reactions into evidence against you. The hardest part is realizing you've been playing a role you never agreed to. You become a character in someone else's story. The villain, the problem, the unstable one. Script writes itself using your own words and actions, twisted by selective framing and omission. You start policing your own face, your tone, your every moves, because any slip can be framed as proof of your true nature. The prison isn't T-bars, but the constant fear of being misunderstood and trapped forever. Every small act, a smile, a blink, silence, transforms into a battlefront. The weight of performance crushes authenticity. The smallest misstep can be weaponized to rewrite reality yet again. Sometimes, to survive, you choose safety over speaking truth. Silence becomes your refuge, your strategy. It's not surrender. It's recalculating, bending without breaking, waiting for the right moment to reclaim your voice. The hardest truth is what you can say. The emotions suppressed, words feared. Carrying these weighty silences is like holding a secret that grows heavier, threatening to crush you from within. But even in darkness, small lights flicker, moments of clarity, acts of quiet resistance, documentation, friendships reaching out. These become lifelines, threads pulling you back from the edge, reminding you you're still here, still fighting. Trust once broken becomes a fragile thing. Every word doubted, every gesture questioned. The foundation shakes, making every interaction a test, every silence a sign, and every look a locked door between two people once close. Untold stories grow legs and take on lives of their own. Misinterpretations spread, filling gaps with assumptions. When you stay quiet, the silence becomes the loudest voice, whispering lies you can control. Walking into the unknown is terrifying. Every step measured, every move a risk. But sometimes, bravery is simply moving forward, even when the path is dark, and your story is in pieces waiting to be reassembled. Unseen enemies hide in patterns and processes. Whispers in hallways, silent glances, HR forms, therapy sessions scripted to twist your truth. It's a battle fought in shadows and PDF files. Hard to name, but impossible to ignore. In this darkness, lies emerge in unexpected ways. A friend's checking text, a lawyer's calm advice, the quiet strength of documentation. These small connections become anchors, reminding you you're not alone in the fight. Preparation is power. Thorough logs, saved evidence, cautious language in emails. They aren't just defense tools, but a way to reclaim agency. In a game rigged against you, preparation rewrites the rules. Silence becomes a strategy, not defeat. Withholding reaction, choosing words, and holding back emotion can shield you from traps. Sometimes saying less speaks volumes, carving space to breathe and plan your next move. Slowly, the mask slips. Manipulation that once felt invisible reveals itself piece by piece. Recognizing patterns of control is the first step to dismantling them. Reclaiming your story from someone else's script. Stories intertwine and spin a web, making escape harder. But webs can be broken. Every truth told pulls threads apart, weakening control and opening cracks in the carefully built cage. Truth becomes your anchor in turbulent seas. It's messy and uncomfortable, but it's also real. Holding on to it, even when it's painful, how you weather the storm and find safe shores beyond the chaos. Reclaiming your narrative means saying no to someone else's story. It's the hardest act of defiance, standing firm, speaking facts, and steadfast refusing to vanish into a fiction you never agreed to. Documentation arms you with clarity. It's not betrayal, but survival. Each piece of evidence is a light piercing the fog. Facts guarding against distortion and rewriting. Holding this armor shifts power back to you. The process is slow, frustrating, and painful, but each step is progress. Every day you document, prepare, and protect is a day closer to freedom. The quiet hope that outlasts the darkest nights. Story isn't just a personal fight. It's a reminder that control isn't always visible. And truth is the most potent weapon. Hold on tight, prepare well, and remember, You re not alone, and your voice matters. What parts of your story have been shaped by others? How do you protect your truth when voices try to rewrite you? Share your experiences, because every voice adds to the light breaking the shadows. Silence used to feel like a cage. Now, it asks a choice, a shield forged in fire. It asks not about hiding, but about waiting for the right moment to speak. Armed with truth and unshakable resolve, preparedness transforms fear into action. When the worst feels inevitable, being ready gives you power, not just over others, but over your own fate. It asks the quiet victory before the storm subsides. Trusting the messy process of truth takes courage, means facing uncertainty, but believing that facts will outlast spin and lies. It asks a long road, but every step forward shakes the foundation of falsehood. From the ruins of control, new foundations can rise, grounded in honesty, guarded by truth, built with quiet strength. It asks not about forgetting, but about reclaiming, rebuilding, and rewriting the narrative on your own terms. Standing strong isn't about winning any war. It asks about refusing to be erased, about holding your truth steady when everything tries to shake it. Your story matters, because in telling it, you break the cycle and light the way. What story will you tell when the shadows come? Who decides the truth you carry? Let your voice be heard, prepared with facts and courage, because your story, your truth, shapes not just your world, but the world around you. Sometimes the fiercest battles are invisible. Battles waged not with fists, but with words. Shadows and silence. Understand the game. Learn the moves. And know when to walk away and when to fight with everything you have. Living under suspicion feels like walking on glass. Every step carefully measured to avoid breaking fragile trust. It wears you down, but teaches resilience and caution like no other test. Shadows creep in where trust once lived. Doubt whispers louder than truth sometimes. Recognizing these shadows is the first step towards stepping out of the fog and reclaiming clarity and peace. Vulnerability is strength disguised. Showing your cracks doesn't make you weak. It shows you human. Admitting pain is the beginning of healing, not the end of courage. Even in the darkest tunnels, light exists somewhere ahead. Every small victory, every truth spoken, every step forward brings you closer to the open air. Hold on to that light. It's your guide through the night. Life isn't about scripts others write for you. It's about breaking free to carve your own path. Armed not just with courage, but with the truth that no one can take away if you stand firm. Never underestimate your voice, in silence or out loud. It shapes perceptions and changes outcomes. When systems try to rewrite you, your voice, anchored in truth, is the power that breaks the cycle. Behind closed doors, realities shift. What the public sees isn't always the truth. Knowing this gives you perspective, to question, to look deeper, and to prepare for the battles hidden from view. Stories buried deep often carry the heaviest weight. Unseen, unheard, but powerful. Discovering them requires courage and patience, but exposing them begins the journey toward freedom and healing. Witnesses matter. A friend's call, a lawyer's presence, a therapist's notes. Each one shifts the balance from isolation to connection and truth. You re not alone. Sometimes, all it takes is a single voice to change everything. Every document, every logged conversation is a piece of the puzzle. Alone, they might seem small, but together, they reveal the true picture. The story you deserve to tell, the life you deserve to live. Changing the narrative means reclaiming your voice, controlling what's shared, and choosing your story's path. It's rewriting what others tried to script. With truth and courage as your pen, healing isn't just about endings. It's about beginnings. The moment you decide to stand up, document, and speak your truth, you start rewriting your story. One word, one act, one day at a time. Showing vulnerability doesn't mean weakness. It means bravery taking off the mask, speaking truth, and facing the world even when it's hard. Your strength lies not in silence, but in honest expression. This isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chapter. One written with courage, facts, and hard-won peace. The trap may have tightened, But the pen is in your hand now. Owning your truth means accepting all parts of your story. The pain, the fear, the strength. It means telling it on your terms. No longer silent or controlled, but free and unwavering. Stories shape hearts, minds, and worlds. When your story is co-opted, your reality shifts. But stepping into your own narrative heals not just wounds, but the fractures in trust and self that control tried to shatter. Power lies within you, not others' scripts. It is resilience found in silence, strength in preparation, and courage to face shadows. Holding your story close is the strongest statement you can make. And the first step to freedom. Storms come and go, but enduring them builds character. Facing false narratives, emotional warfare, and silence takes more strength than most realize. Each day survived is a victory. Each truth told, a beacon. Beyond the struggle there is hope. Quiet, steady, and patient. It is the belief that truth can outlast lies, and that even the darkest stories can have endings full of light and renewal. Your story is your power, unpredictable and unique. Don't let it be rewritten by fear or control. Write it boldly, speak it clearly, and know that in your truth lies your freedom and your future. This story echoes the struggles many face in silence. If it speaks to you, know you are not alone. Your journey toward truth and safety matters and deserves to be heard by those who care. Seeking help, documenting truth, and standing firm isn't weakness. That's the bravest step anyone can take toward freedom. Your voice can change the story for yourself and others walking this road. Breaking the cycle means learning to see, to prepare, and to protect. It means refusing to be erased by silence or lies. You have power and the choice to tell your own story differently. With strength and hope, your voice matters more than you know. It carries truth beyond walls, beyond doubt. Speak it gently or loudly, but speak it, because healing begins when silence ends and stories are shared. Where in your life might silence be hiding stories waiting to be told? What truths are you ready to bring into the light? Remember, every story told shifts the world, starting with your own. Thank you for listening to this story. If it moved you, share it, talk about it. Sometimes, the smallest voice can spark the biggest change. Your story matters, and it is just beginning. I want to hear from you. What is your story? How have you reclaimed your truth when others tried to rewrite it? Drop a comment, share your journey, and let us break silence together. Your voice matters more than you know.